Everybody. So thanks for joining part 2 of the video. Everybody should have finished their ladder of abstraction and written their theme as well as 4 supporting pieces of evidence. You should have also put down the 4th column on that chart that we've been filling in for themes. So go ahead and, if you haven't yet, go ahead and make sure everybody has the theme and at least one really good quote to support that theme on that chart. So go ahead and pause the video and make sure everybody's got that 4th column filled out. Okay, so the thing that we've been building up to these whole last 2 weeks is called a TIQA paragraph. And so it has the acronym TIQA. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about a TIQA paragraph and how it works. So each TIQA paragraph has 4 specific parts to it, and they all have identical organization and structure. What it does is it just presents a claim, gives evidence, and then analyzes the evidence. It's kind of like what we did with argumentative writing. So let's take a look at the 4 parts. The T part is the very first sentence of the paragraph, and it introduces your thesis or your claim. And we've been doing this all year. You make a claim and then you back it up with evidence. So we know how to do this. I'm going to use the giving tree as an example. I might start off my TIQA paragraph with one theme of the giving tree is that when we love someone unconditionally, we want to give or do something to make them happy, even if the cost to us is great. So we're just stating our claim. Here's what the author's message was. So that is the T in TIQA. Now the I stands for introduce the evidence. Basically what we want to do is we want to give the reader a little bit of context of what's going on in the story before we give them the evidence. So this is what that would look like. I introduce the evidence. For example, the tree gives away her apples, branches, and trunk to make the boy she loves happy. The reader kind of needs to know that context before they can appreciate the evidence, which is going to come next, right? So it's just giving the reader a little bit of information about the book so that when we give them the quote, it makes sense. So now we get to the quote. The Q is for quote, quotation or evidence. So I wrote, at the end of the story, when she is only a stump, the boy wants a quiet place to sit and rest. The tree says, well, an old stump is good for sitting and resting. Come, boy, sit down and rest. So that is my quote. Now, in TIQA paragraphs, you only get one quote, and it has to be short. So we can't use multiple pieces of evidence. We only get one shot at this. So you want to make sure it's a really good quote. The 4th part of the TIQA paragraph is analysis, and this should be the majority of the paragraph. It should be kind of the whole, like half of it, like the whole back half of it. And what an analysis should do, it should synthesize the thesis, evidence, and quotation and show how they all work together to prove the thesis. So it might sound something like this. When the boy sits, it makes the tree happy. This shows us that it doesn't matter what the cost to her, she will do it to make the boy happy. We know this throughout the story. When she gives something to the boy, it makes her happy. Her love is so great for the boy that his happiness promotes her own happiness. So if I were to string all 4 of those sentences together, that's what a TIQA paragraph would look like. It just goes right in order, just like that. Theme, introduce the evidence, quote, and analysis. Now, TIQA paragraphs have been written for many, many books, and there has been one written for 2 kinds. So at this point, you can pause the video and go and get the handout that looks like that, and then read it together as a group. Okay, so you should have all read the TIQA paragraph for 2 kinds. Now, your job today, and this is the last thing that you're going to need to do, is to find the different parts of the TIQA paragraph. Where is the claim in this paragraph? Where is the introduction of the evidence? Where is the quote? And where is the analysis? So what you're going to need to do is share the highlighters and highlight the theme or the thesis in blue. Everybody should have blue for the thesis. Everybody should have orange for introducing the evidence. Everybody should have yellow for the quote and green for the analysis. When you get done with that, please check in with the sub and she can take a look and make sure that you've highlighted it correctly. Also, after you do that, then you can double check on this video. So go ahead and pause the video right now and make sure everybody's highlighting the correct parts, work together, help each other, and then you can go to the last slide. Great. Okay, so you've checked in, you've gotten some clearance. Your TIQA paragraph should have looked just like this, right? So blue for the theme, orange for introducing the evidence, yellow for the quote, and green for analysis. So that's your job for today. You are done with the objective. Know that next time we'll start a new story and we'll go through the chart again. And next time you will be helping to write a TIQA paragraph with your group. All right, so for the rest of the time today, you can make sure everything's glued into your journal, trim it, glue it in, keep everything organized. Your ladder of abstraction should be finished. Your fourth column on your chart should be finished. And if all of those things are done, then you can work on your Grammar 101. On Google Classroom, I have a screenshot of the chart as it was last week, so if you've done something new, it won't be reflected on there just yet. But there's also a link to get a login for the English Grammar 101. So if you can find that new login information for yourself, log into the grammar program. You'll need to create a new password for yourselves, and then you can keep working for the rest of the time on the English grammar. All right, well, I will be back on campus tomorrow, and if you have any questions, you can feel free to email me or just swing by. I'll also be checking in with you as soon as we reconvene class on Thursday. All right, take care. Have a great day.